conversation with coaches, Coach Amanda, Coach Martha from Inspire Weight Loss Davy. Today we are going to talk about a certain subject that needs to be talked about a lot more than what it is. Perimenopause. Woohoo! Anyways, Coach Amanda, we're excited to be here.
Got lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about. All right, so how does this come about? So I decided to tell the world that I'm officially in perimenopause. And it's something it just brought to mind. I went to the doctor the other day and confirmed that I'm in perimenopause. But when I was driving home, I was thinking about how Inspire Weight Loss started, and how my personal weight loss journey is so relatable to so many women out there. When I was 42 years old, so when I started Inspire Weight Loss, I was 42 years old, and so at that time, I went through the transition of being in the 30s to the 40s. And I used to hate when people would tell me, wait until you hit 30, wait until you hit 40. And at that time, I was like, man, it's true. Like when you go from 30 to 40, it's almost like you have this invisible switch in your arm when that midnight hour hits and things start happening, your grades start coming out and all sorts of things are happening. And at that time, I went through my weight loss journey, and through my own personal journey, that's where Inspired Weight Loss was birthed. So that was in my early 40s. So when I was driving home the other day, it brought me back to that. And now, as I was thinking, it brought me to current time. And now I'm in a whole different phase of my life. It's been almost 7 years and I opened Inspire Weight Loss. And back then I was just worried about going from 30 to 40. And now it's like, next week I'm turning 49. And now it's the season that I'm in is so relatable to the bulk of our clients at Inspire, which are women that suffer from perimenopause or going through it, or postmenopause, all of the pauses. I call it all the pauses. All of the pauses. So I said, you know what, let's talk about it, because back then I was in a certain season in my life and I can relate to the people that are going from the 30 to the 40s, and now I'm in another season, a new season in my life that I can relate to the people that are going from the 40s to the 50s. And there's a lot that comes with going into the 50s. Holy moly. So that's how we got here to talk about perimenopause. So Coach, do you have any questions for me?
Well, I have a question because I'm 30, so I'm in that season, and you gave me this wonderful book, which I want to share. I think that the clients would love to know about this because it's helping me to understand a lot, and for them to understand. So this is next level, and I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but it's your guide
Say
to
it, yes.
kicking butt, feeling
Just say it. It said kicking ass.
kicking ass, feeling great, and crushing goals through menopause and beyond. So I deal with clients that are going through all those stages. I'm not experiencing it yet, but I will at some point. So I just want to share that book because it's a really awesome thing to read, because it's showing me a lot of things that I need to know. And my question was for you is, when you figured out and realized that you were going through perimenopause, what was that mental feeling that you had? Like, what was going through your mind?
Well, what was going through my mind was like, what went through my mind was, okay. For the last 7 years, I've helped so many women that are walking through this. And from an educational standpoint, from an experience standpoint, meaning like seeing all these clients with the same stories, really, like we go through a lot of the same things. But now I'm actually physically experiencing it myself, that's next level, right? But the first thing in my mind was like, number one, now, it's me personally as a health coach I'm gonna have an even deeper understanding of what my clients are walking through. And then second to that, I was like, because I'm kind of like that person that likes to attack things. And I am going to hyper educate myself on it, and even more so than what I am, because again, as a health coach, I take care of so many women that go through it. But I'm like, I'm gonna attack it before I get to the point that I may be miserable. Maybe not, because there's women that have a ton of symptoms and like hot flashes and this and that and the other side effects from it. And then there's women that are like, oh, I went through it and I didn't feel anything. So in my mind, which is usually the case in everything that I do, is how do I stay ahead of it? And what are the lifestyle changes that I need to do to make sure I stay ahead of it? So that was what went through my mind. The third thing was like, oh no. That's number three. Literally was like, oh no. We're not doing that. So why? It's because there's certain side effects that I'm experiencing. Sometimes I find myself, and I really want to talk through them, because I want women out there that are watching this to know that I know what you're going through. And I also want them to know that it's okay to talk about it. And there's studies that show that women that are going through menopause, perimenopause, and have like these side effects, that the transition, the experience through the transition makes a difference. There's a difference. Being able to talk about it and have a community to talk about it makes a difference in their experience as they're going through it.
Right.
Because when you're talking about something and you feel like you're being heard, or you have support, that actually helps lessen the cortisol levels, like the stress hormones in your body. So then that helps your journey through your transition. And there's so many like negative things around menopause, but having a different mindset around it also is helpful, because it's a season in every woman's life, and it's okay. Like, it's okay. Why does it have to be so negative and ugly? It's okay, you know? There's like benefits about, being done with your menstrual cycle. There is. But anyway, so let's talk about the side effects. So number one, I'm a super busy person, and like I said before, I like to attack things and take care of things. And I have a to-do list this long. And I normally attack things like boom, 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 boom. I find myself like sometimes staring at the computer, like gone, like I'm like daydreaming somewhere. Brain fog. Sometimes I feel like I'm not, I don't know if I'm coming or going, you know? The other day, we were watching Netflix, my husband and I were watching Netflix. We were watching this random show that doesn't, I call it the ones that don't require brain cells. Because I just don't want to use my brain cells, and I don't know, he hit the remote control, and when you're watching a show and it's a live show, so it wasn't Netflix, it was a live show. When you pause it at that moment, so then if you're doing something, you don't miss out. Yeah, so he hit the remote control, and he and we lost.
Mm.
So we missed out in like 20 minutes of the show. I think it was The Voice. Anyways, I almost bit his head off. And he's like, what the heck? And I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, it was like, what? What just happened?
What just happened? It was like, whoa, okay. And that's a side effect from, you know, the hormonal changes that are happening. The most tangible one, two tangible ones that I said, okay, I need to like really look into this. Out of 4 weeks of the month, 3 weeks, or 2 weeks, moving into my full menstrual cycle, I'm spotting.
Mhm.
So, and for those of you out there that are watching, you're like, I can't believe she's talking about this. Well, yes, I'm that transparent because I want people to know it's okay to talk about it. So 3 weeks out of 4 weeks a month, I have to deal with this thing. And I'm like, okay, no, that's not happening. And then also the breast tenderness that comes with my breasts were hurting so much 3 weeks out of the month, where it used to be just like a couple of days going into my menstrual cycle. So much so that the other day I have to buy a bra, and I'm usually a C cup, and I measured into a D cup because my breast tissue is so dense from the hormonal imbalance that I have going on from perimenopause. And there's so many more like other side effects that people experience, like sweating. I sweat. I don't sweat at night, thank God. But this is something new. That's also, you know, one of the reasons why I'm diving into this. If I eat sugar, which I normally don't, but if there's an event, there's a birthday cake or whatever it may be, and I eat sugar, or I drink wine, I will sweat at night like
Really?
crazy. Yes. So I noticed that, so I don't do that. I cut it. And that's also a symptom of me being in perimenopause. So having an awareness of like things that are changing in your life, it's like, that's weird. Because, you know, the one that knows the best your body is yourself, right? Like, I know that that's just not right. It's just not normal for me. So, you know, there's other things that come with perimenopause, but those are the ones that I'm personally experiencing. And I want to talk about it, you know. I want to talk about it, and I want to share it with the world and with our clients. And also I want to, you know, share hope, because even with all of that, you know, like I mentioned, most of our clients are walking through hormonal imbalance from being in this phase of their lives, and they come to us because during this phase, there's a redistribution of fat that happens, that literally fat is like, you know, marching
Yep.
over to your lower abdominal area, like
And
they're
it's like this.
yeah, they're like kumbayaing in your lower abdominal area. It's like, why? It doesn't matter if you were skinny your whole life or not. Does not matter what body type the person has. It just whether you have a lot of fat cells or a little, it doesn't matter. They all start like creeping over to your lower abdominal area. So we have a lot of clients that come to us frustrated that they can't lose weight, you know, and frustrated with the stubborn area of the lower abs, right? And so even with all of that, they still lose such a great amount of fat mass with our program. And so yeah, that's my story so far.
Well,
So
Coach, um, I wanted to mention that with exercise too, because with our program, we want our clients to do movement. So exercise is really good, especially for clearing the mind, because as you mentioned, the cortisol is not good when all these changes are happening. It's physically good for exercising and also for the mental aspect of it to make you feel good. So
Oh, yeah.
I want clients to do like with our 3-week challenge that we were talking about, to
Mhm.
start doing those things for themselves, to just get out, go into nature, be with the wind, be with the sun, or even swimming would be awesome to do because it just opens up that good endorphin for your body and it helps
Yeah,
you.
especially
Yeah.
with this weather, that we
Oh,
have going on here in South Florida.
oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
the weekend.
yeah. So there's hope, number one, let's think about those of you that are watching that are going through this kind of stuff. I want to challenge you guys to change your mindset of how you look at the menopause. And what I mean by that is like, what are your thoughts? What are the words that going through your head? There's so much power with our minds. Our mindset can make or break something. It really can. You can be doing all the right things, and if your mind is not there and the words that you speak is not there, it can actually sabotage what you're working so hard to do. We see it in our office every day. How about we normalize, you know, talking about menopause, number one. Secondly, looking at it as a positive thing, not a negative thing. And I also want to mention it's not an age thing only, by the way. There's people that are pushed into menopause for clinical reasons. So people can go through menopause in their 30s, in their younger years. Um, so yeah, of course, the bulk of people is because we're aging out, right? Like we're getting to that season in our life, like me. But there's other people that are younger that have had to or are going through this as well. Let's normalize talking about it. Number two, let's normalize being positive about it and seeing the positive side of it, because if you're focusing on the negative, then you're just making your journey harder. And then three, yeah, and then three, there's things that you can do. You don't have to sit there and suffer in silence because you're going through menopause. There are things like Coach Amanda just said, there's fitness things that you can do. Nutrition is so important with menopause, and we talk to our clients about that on a daily basis. Lifestyle changes as far as nutrition is concerned is so important. I mean, I just told you, if I eat a lot of sugar, I sweat at night. That's nutrition. I had to, although I don't eat a lot of sugar normally, but I did here and there because I had those hormonal cravings at night. If you're having hormonal sugar cravings, between 6:30 and 8:30 p.m., and you've never craved sugar before, that's all hormones. It's part of the journey, and you have to know how to manage that. There's community, there's relational things, there's so many things that you can do to help you walk through this phase of your life. Here at Inspire, we focus on fat and nutrition. And so just because you're going through this phase in your life doesn't mean that you have to just accept and feel miserable that now you're gaining weight because of it. No, there's things that you can do, like our program, that's going to help you through that. Okay. And there's other things that you can do that we can talk about when you come in. But I've had to, and this is the second part of my journey that I'm just starting now. I went to a functional medicine doctor. I believe in functional med, is so amazing. And the doctor told me that I am far from menopause. but I am in perimenopause, so I can be in perimenopause phase for God knows how long. But I am extremely healthy, thankfully. I take good care of my body, so I was expecting that, but I do have hormone imbalance, so I'm estrogen dominant. And that is why my breasts are the way that they are, and that's why I'm experiencing certain things. So I had to do a very deep dive on my hormones, and see how I can balance them out. So I'm doing a natural bioidentical hormone, progesterone, to a very low dose to balance my hormones. I do, if you and speak to your doctor, because I am not a doctor, but I do recommend to go to a functional med doctor. Why? Because not all doctors are trained to help women be at an optimal range in your hormone. There's a difference between doing blood work and you look at your blood work and your counts are within range. Every single type of test that you do, your A1C needs to be between here and here. Well, if you land here or here, then you're within range. But there's a difference between being within range and then being optimal. So my hormones were within range. A year ago, I checked my hormones with my regular doctor and I was within range. But I don't want to be within range. I want to be optimal. I want to live this life in an optimal way in every single lane of my life, whether it's my health, my relationships, my business, my spiritual life. Every single aspect of my life, I want to be as optimal as I can be with what I can control. And that's what made me go to a functional med doctor, because I don't want to be just within range. And you don't have to either. You can optimize your hormones and you can optimize your range. Like, if your blood sugar levels are here, you can optimize that. So anyways, I want to share with women out there that there's hope and there's things that you can do. And if you're walking through it, and you are experiencing that weight gain, and experiencing like, I don't know what to do as far as nutrition, and I need to talk to somebody about it, then contact us and schedule a consultation, because it is a thing and there is hope and there's things that you can do.
Come see us.
Come see us. And I am so happy that Coach Amanda, you're with us too, because there's women that actually walk through this in their 30s. And then also we have, which we'll talk about in a later video, but we have, many women, many clients in their 30s that they deal with other things. In every phase of our life, there's like a measure of things that we have to deal with. And so at Inspire, we're a very diverse group. We got 30s, we got 40s, we got 60s, we got all the things because we're all in this together. So anything you want to add to any of that, Coach?
I just want to say, for all of us, no matter what stage we are in life, I just want us all to remember to give yourself patience and grace every day, because we go through things all the time and we are our worst critics, and we put ourselves down sometimes. We have hard times with positive self-talk. So just take the pressure off, like just go like this.
Yeah.
Off the shoulders, because everything is always going to work out, and when we do good for our bodies do good for us.
So good.
That's what I want everybody to know that.
And there's so much truth. So whatever you input, outputs, right? So whatever you do with your body's going to respond. And if you don't know what to do with it, then I've been there. I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. So here we are to help, okay? All right, that's my first part of my perimenopause story. Make sure you're on our Instagram at Inspire Weight Loss HQ, because I am going to go public with my perimenopause story and share with everybody how it's going. So anyways, I hope this was encouraging for you. And you know, keep an eye out, because we're gonna be doing these coach conversations every single week with different topics, and just being raw and real as we talk. So thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.